Good morning, everybody out there in TikTok land. And of course, good morning to the Wolf Pack. We have had a pretty good morning so far. Hasn't been terrible. AIRS shares rise on 2025 outlook. Well, good morning. I hope everybody is doing well this morning. It's Friday. May 2nd. Good morning. Good morning, Everell. Good morning, Mr. Casanova. Good morning. Good to have you with us. With any luck, hopefully a bunch of you saw the beginnings of FRGT this morning. FRGT was called out this morning on our Zoom live stream this morning by one of our Wolfpack members, and it was right at 7 o'clock. Right at 7 o'clock this morning. And that stock went from about $1.22 to $3.92. Beautiful, beautiful run up. Michael, 145 to 344. Nice, very nice trade. Scott, up $1 a share on FRGT. Good deal. PLRZ, I've got that at what, 35 cents going sideways. FRGT right now is up about 231%. It was up about 270% a little bit ago. Such a beautiful, beautiful run on that stock. And I kept saying, I wish everybody on TikTok was with us at 7 o'clock for that one. That would have been sweet. Makes me happy to see retail traders getting a check in the win box. Debbie, good morning. Why? Why would I want everybody to win and make money? Kathy, good morning. David, good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. FRGT trying one more time maybe to push back up. Let's see if we can get back up to our high. We hit 392 a little bit. They had some news on that one, Pirate. They had some crypto type news, I believe. Kind of the same, along the same vein as KIDZ, KIDZ. Different, but kind of in that same vein of thought. JG says, beautiful bastard for sure. $700 before 8 a.m. That is nice. So they had some news on a Trump coin. That's what's causing that this morning. And FOMO, a lot of FOMO on this one now. You got to be honest. There was a lot of people were they were dumping KIDZ, KIDZ, About the time FRG started running up, kids started running down. People were dumping that, jumping into FRGT, pulling money out, throwing it over there, and it just ran beautifully. And we'll keep an eye on it here this morning and see if it pushes up. I'd love to see this thing run past 4, though. Holy smokes, that would be beautiful. I'd love to have a 300% runner here this morning. Anybody still holding, by the way? Anybody? Okay, Scott's still holding. Anybody else? Any Wolfpack members still holding that thing? Waiting. See? $261 to $337. Nice. Good trade, Tomic. Good trade. Not sure it's got anything left in it, but hey, we'll keep an eye on it. My stock runs up 270%. You can't really expect too much more out of it. That's putting a lot of expectation on a stock to go higher than 270% in 40 minutes. It did it in 30 minutes. It spiked up at right at 7:30. So in a half an hour's time frame, it went up 270%, and that's pretty amazing. That is pretty darn amazing. Let me look at previous clothesline. THTX presents novel data underscoring importance of managing excess visceral abdominal fat in people with HIV. Okay, that's a fluff press release. Looks like Kids is still pulling backwards. I don't know, you guys catch Kids this morning early, real early this morning, KIDZ. It was up over 10 this morning. If you guys were playing that in early pre-market with the Wolfpack, that one was up nicely this morning. Everybody was getting pretty excited about that one. Hasn't looked so good since then. About 7:20 this morning, it started dropping, and it's still struggling. But early this morning, it was nice. Early this morning, that thing was a beauty. So let's see if FRGT is going to, or if everybody's done. Looks like it's consolidating at the moment. So I'm going to call that a win and say this thing is consolidating. It looks like it's trying to show some support here around 322. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Yeah, around 320. We'll call it 320. Let's see if it can hold up here. It's been going sideways for about 10 minutes now. And we know what happens when it consolidates. It's either going to break to the upside or the downside. All we can do is watch. Sandy, good morning. Tracy, good morning. Vicky, good morning. So we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see. But boy, was it nice. That was a good one. PLRZ starting to curl up a little bit here. PLRZ curling up. Kids, KIDZ, that one's still dropping. Did you guys catch Kids last night? We were talking about that in after hours last night. And when I logged off last night, I think it was down around $5.36. And then after that, as soon as I logged off, it took off and ran to 8.49. It ran up about $3 after I logged off the live stream, and then it went up another couple of bucks this morning. That was a monster. What a great call out on that stock yesterday in pre-market. Unbelievable. From $1.17 all the way to $10. That's insane. We love those. Oh boy, market doesn't give us those very often, but when it does, Wolfpack's on top of it. And we were on that one in pre-market yesterday when it first popped off. When the press release hit, boom, we was on it. We knew about it. Obviously, not everybody jumped in immediately when the press release came out. We all know better than that. We know to sit back and wait and see how it's going to react to the press release. Sometimes we get press releases that look amazing, just amazing. Like, man, as soon as I read it, I know this stock's going to skyrocket. And it does absolutely nothing. And it just goes sideways or it starts trending down. It's pretty crazy. And then other times we get press releases that don't look like they really amount to much and the stock goes bananas. So just the headline of a press release or the substance of the press release itself does not always dictate what that stock's going to do. That's why we wait and watch. Andy, the monthly subscription on the website is $25 a month. From the first month all the way through the whole thing. And you can cancel it anytime you want. And you don't need any specific reasons for canceling it. Sometimes people will go in just to try it out for a little bit. They'll get a subscription, and then like 2-3 days later, they'll cancel the subscription. Now, the subscription, if you go in and buy a subscription and then you cancel it 2 days later, you're still going to have access to it for a month because you paid for a month. So you'll get that whole month. But then at the end of that month, then it goes away. But a lot of people, just as a trial thing, they'll subscribe to it, wait a couple of days, they'll cancel it, and then they'll try it. If by the end of that month, if they don't like it, they'll just let it go and let the subscription cancel. If they like it, they'll go back in and resubscribe again, renew the subscription. But like I said, you can cancel it anytime for any reason. Greenbud, good morning. Oh, let's see. GNLN. Don't forget to get your Wolfpack t-shirts. I wear my Wolfpack t-shirt all the time. I think I got one on now, as a matter of fact. I got a Wolfpack under my hoodie. I like wearing my Wolfpack t-shirts out when I go out someplace. People always ask me, what the hell is a Wolfpack community? What is that? And then I get an opportunity to tell them about our community. And obviously you get a lot of mixed responses from that. BTOG climbing up. BTOG was a nice climber this morning as well in early pre-market. But it's kind of gone sideways here since 7 o'clock. It's not really done a whole lot, but it is trying to curl up. FRGT is struggling. Kids is still coming down. Yeah, I get a lot of people that'll say, what the heck is Wolfpack Community when they see my t-shirt? And I'll explain to them it's about stock trading, pre-market, stock trading and the community. And I always get a mix of responses from that of, stock market, who wants to trade in the stock market? That's like gambling. I don't trust it. Stock market's no good. I'll stick with my 401k. And of course that makes me chuckle because they don't understand where their 401k is apparently. Or we get, sometimes I'll get some really interested people that say, hey man, that sounds kind of interesting. I've never done stock trading before, but I'm kind of interested in learning, and be really cool to check it out. CNEY, nothing there. FRGT still pulling. BTOG still pushing up. Kids still coming down. Fubo swings to first quarter profit, but expects second quarter sales to decline. How about Irene, IREN? Quarter 3 fiscal year 25 results on May 14th. Pre-market trade. Right now in this market, I'm not trading a lot during the day. Most of my trading is done in pre-market. Usually by the end of pre-market, from like if I get involved in early pre-market trading, like at 4 a.m., usually by the time pre-market is done at 9:30, I've made my daily goal. So I don't need to trade during the day, and I don't like to over trade. But usually by the end of, right when the market opens at 9:30, I've already made my daily goal. So I have no desire to give it back. I don't want to give it back to the market by over trading, because that's a really quick way to get rid of your money that you just made, is by over trading. And it's contagious. When you're making money, you don't want to stop, and it can get very risky. It's kind of like when you go to the casino. Think of when you go to the casino and you're hitting and you hit and you hit. You don't want to stop because you think, man, I'm hot right now. I don't want to quit. And 45 minutes later, you realize you've just lost half of everything you won. So stock market can kind of play you that way as well. You're winning and you're doing really well, and you don't want to quit. So you kind of get into a phase where you're forcing a trade. You're kind of pushing something to happen to keep that cycle going, and it can burn you. So when I hit my daily goal, I'm usually done. And usually that's in pre-market. So now if I don't hit my daily goal by the end of pre-market, I'll usually grab one or two that I see that are starting to run in, at 9:30, and they look like they're going to be good hot ones. I'll jump into those. And then sometimes that lasts for 20 minutes. Sometimes that lasts 10 minutes. Sometimes I'll be into them for an hour. And then I'm out, and then I'm done for the day. But I don't like to sit in front of the computer all day long, just staring at nothing. When I've already made a decent amount, I just don't but that's just me. That's just me. I'm not. I have so many other things I'd rather be doing during the day than staring at a computer screen. What's your daily goal? Right now, I my daily goal is 5,000, but but I will settle for less than that if the market is really, really crappy. Remember some of those days last week when the Dow was down 1,000 points? I didn't even try to hit my goal. Didn't even try. PLRZ pushing up still. PLRZ trying to push up. FRGT, nothing there. Kids tried, but it's getting pulled back. CNEY. Let's see, kids, PLRZ. That's what you're playing with to target 5K. It varies. I will typically put in anywhere from SOPA is moving up, by the way, SOPA. I will generally put in $2,000 or $3,000 into a position. Now, how many shares that gets me depends on the price of the stock, obviously. But I usually try to put in 2 to 3K in a position, and I get I might do 4 trades in a day, maybe 5 trades in a day. Sometimes I will dump in more than 3K into a position, obviously, especially if I think I can, if I've got a really hot one on a really hot press release, I'll throw 7 or 8K into it. And then I can usually hit my goal within just a few trades. And um, what I have available to trade, what I have available to trade on my trading account, far exceeds that $2,000 to $3,000. I just don't choose to spend much more than that per day. Now, before I retired, when I was trading heavily, um, I was spending $20,000 to $30,000 on one position and getting 20,000 shares, 50,000 shares, 60,000 shares, um, depending on the price of the stock, obviously. But I don't do that anymore. I don't play like that no more. That's since I've retired, I've gotten a lot more conservative. But as an average, I would say anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 on one position, and then if I, like I said, if I see something I really, really think's going to just blow up, I'll go heavy on it, like 7, 8, $9,000. CCLD, preferred stock dividend payments. ACNT, first quarter earnings on May 12th. VISL, nothing there. TSHA, nothing there. LITE, upcoming investors events, nothing there. XRT business. Boy, just a bunch of fluff, nothing. Press releases. Most of it is about earnings. Companies are announcing that they're going to do earnings on May 8th. May 8th is going to be a busy day for earnings. I can tell you that right now. I've seen that date popping up next Thursday. That's going to be a big day for earnings. FRGT. You know, when you think about the daily goal, thinking, man, that seems like that's really tough to get. Let me put it into perspective just a little bit. If I had dumped $3,000 on FRGT this morning, when it got called out, that stock ran 270%. So take that $3,000 that I put in there and multiply it by 270%. Let's assume I missed the first 70%, or I jumped in after it had already been up 30%, and I jumped out, 30 or 40% before it hit the ceiling, and I only grabbed 200% of it. Multiply that 3,000 by 200%. That's a daily goal on one stock. That's hitting the daily goal on one stock. Now, I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying that happens every single day. We don't get 270% runners every single day, but I'm just using that as an example to kind of put it into perspective how easy it can be to hit that kind of a number if you put in $2,000 to $3,000 on a stock and it runs like that. It's not unreasonable to hit those kind of numbers. But like I said, that doesn't happen every single day. Let's see. KIDZ curling back up. Got some money coming back into KIDZ here at 8 o'clock. FRGT. ETOG. And yes, I do have losses. I take losses all the time. But I take small losses. I don't take massive losses on anything. If I get into a trade and it goes south on me, right after I get into it, I'm out. I just get out. I don't keep holding and holding and holding and holding, hoping that it will curl back up and I'll be able to get out even, or maybe I just cut them quick. Cut them very, very quick. For me, that's the secret of, it's all about risk management, right? Risk management. You've got to manage your risks. If a stock goes south on you, jump the hell out of it. Get out of that thing quickly, as fast as you can get out of it if it turns on you. And that's hard to do. That's a hard discipline to learn. But it'll be well worth it. It'll be well worth it if you can get that discipline. KIDZ curling back up still. But I've used the example before. And somebody will ask me what my win-loss ratio is, which is not a good indicator. It's not a good indicator of how good of a trader somebody is. I've used the analogy many times. I can do 10 trades, and out of those 10 trades, I can have 8 of them that I took a loss on. So that win-loss ratio is not very good, is it? If you look at it in that sense. But those 2 wins can far outweigh the losses that I took. Far outweigh them if those losses are small. If you have very small losses, 2 really good ones will far outweigh those losses, and you'll be in the green. So when somebody says my win-loss ratio, I win 7 out of 10 trades, I'm green. Well, that's great, but give me a little bit more information. How much did you make on those 7 wins, and how much did you lose on the 3 that you lost on? That could be a very telling number. So it's your win-loss ratio needs to be in terms of percentages and dollars, not actual trades. You can have 8 trades and lose $500. Boom, 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 100, 150, 25, 100, and lose $500 on 8 trades. And then all of a sudden 2 good trades come along and you make 4,000 or 5,000. That's a ratio I'll take all day long. I'll take a loss of $500 if I win 5,000 or 6,000. Absolutely. And I won't be embarrassed at all that I lost on 8 trades. I never feel bad about losing on a trade because it's just part of trading. It's just part of trading. You're going to lose. No matter how seasoned of a trader you are, how good you are, you're going to lose on trades. You're going to have those stinkers that you're absolutely convinced are going to go up, and they just absolutely fall apart. And it's going to happen. The trick is, how long do you hold it when it does go bad? That's the secret. How long do you hold it? You got to cut bait and run. That's right. Cut bait early. You just have to cut bait. ELAB. We're getting a lot of chatter here about ELAB. What is ELAB doing? ELAB. Absolutely nothing. What's going on there? What was everybody excited about it? ELAB, it's fake candles. All right. Okay. Well, that was it. There's not a lot of news on Fridays. Fridays are typically very slow for press releases. We've known that historically for a very long time. We don't get a lot of press releases on Fridays. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursdays are pretty good, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday seems to be when all the really great press releases hit the market. Looks like ELAB is trying to pump back up again. ELAB, not a lot of volume. It's approaching 1 million, so it's getting up there. But we'll keep an eye on FRGT for today. See if this one's going to run. Kids, KIDZ, we're not going to count that one out just yet. We'll see if that runs up. Like I said, that was over $10 this morning. So we're not going to count it out just yet. We'll keep an eye on it. And of course, if we get any new press releases here in pre-market, we'll definitely jump on those as well. PLRZ looks like it's trying to curl up a little bit. Had a nice run up yesterday just prior to the market close in after hours last night. I mean, it ran from 27 cents to 65 cents. over 100% run in like 15 minutes. And then this morning, of course, it drops. So maybe it will try to curl back up there, get it back up around 60 cents, but we'll keep an eye on it. That's all we can do is watch and see if it's got the volume it needs. And we'll continue, like I said, we'll continue to watch KIDZ. And of course, FRGT, we'll see if that one gets everybody's attention again. PLRZ. Let's see. PTPI. PTPI it's climbing up. Almost 2 million on volume. Might want to keep an eye on that one as well. PTPI. That one seems to be getting a little juice here. It's getting, right now as we speak, it's getting a pretty decent amount of volume. So might want to keep an eye on that one. All right. You guys have a great day of trading. TikTok and YouTube. It's Friday, which means no after hours trading session for me. I take Fridays off. So no after hours today. No after hours market. And I will see everybody bright and early again Monday morning. If you'd like to join us at 6:45 in the morning Eastern time for that first round of press releases at 7, you have to pop over to the website, wolfpackcommunity.com, and subscribe to live trading. If you decide you don't want to do that, that's fine too. We will see you right here on TikTok and YouTube at 7:35 in the morning Eastern time. We'll pop on, and then we'll be with you until the 8 o'clock press releases, and then we'll say goodbye. So you'll get the 8 o'clock stuff if anything pops up. But if you'd like more than that, all of pre-market press releases, then join us on the website, wolfpackcommunity.com. There's a link on all my social media sites. So until Monday morning, you guys have a great weekend. Have some fun, and I'll see you on Monday morning.